Greetings all, buenos dias, Shabbat Shalom. Um, well, I'm just dabbing off at the mouth. See, this is how I'm not lonely. I talk about what I want to talk about to whomever I want to talk to it about. Period. But anyhow, parenting. Now, I don't know everything about parenting, but as most know, that, my 18-year-old son passed away July 20th, 2014, from something that I thought I saved him from. But that wasn't the case. You know, I hooked him up to the feeding machine as a premature baby. I held him in for 4 days, went into labor July 4th, had him July 8th to get the steroid shots in my back. Just a lot of stuff. Hooked him up to the feeding machine, like I said, for 2 years, almost 2 years. Um, Nurtured them, loved them. They used to call me Betty Crocker, because I didn't feed my son things that's inside the stores or the McDonald's and all that other stuff. I didn't do that, I cooked because I had to make sure that I knew exactly what was in his food. And I always kept him active, and that's to keep, his sugar levels at a certain point. Not that he had diabetes, he had short gut. With short gut, everything that goes inside of your body, it either goes inside of the toilet or it goes into your bloodstream. So you have to either stay active, really stay active, or you get really, really thin if you put too much sugars or certain foods inside, carbs inside of your body. Um, so it's worse than diabetes to me, because really there's no cure for it. You can't do anything about it. It's just like you never get full, never. So my son never got full. The older he got, he was even hungrier, all the time. So, but at the age of 16, he no longer wanted to listen. And, I honor that because that's what he was raised to be, an individual. And that's what we need to understand, that our children don't belong to us. We are the carriers of our children. We have been given the gift to be their parents at that moment. But we all have a choice to do the best thing that we could possibly do as parents. Show them, love them, give them whatever we need to do. But they're still going to grow up and do whatever they want to do, period, point blank, because there is no way possible that my plans matched his plans. But no way. There's nothing in this world that, he would be competing for the 2016 Brazilian Olympics right now with his Olympian coach if it was up to me. But that wasn't his choice. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and it took his life. But he knew. So in saying that, I was talking to this young man, and he's in his 30s now. But I was talking to him, and he's frustrated about his teenage daughter, and he's frustrated about, certain things in general. But what we need to understand, we don't even understand us fully. How do you think you're going to understand another different individual? Yeah, they come from us, but they're not our children. And they have their own individual thoughts and minds because they're their own individual. Period, point blank. They think like they want to think, they do what they want to do, and that's just that. So what we have to understand is that we love them, we give them, we share, we create memories. We do the things that we're supposed to do as parents or that we know how to do, because parenting doesn't come with a handbook. What my mother taught me, she wasn't, I'm not going to say she wasn't, because she was my mother. He was my father. They weren't what I would consider to be, the best of the best, but they were the best for me. They taught me how to be me. I chose to love instead of hate. I chose to do the things that I do instead of doing the opposite. So you learn from experiences. That's only if you want to learn. So you can't blame nobody for what you decide, because I could have taken on a whole different thing if that's what I decided to do. Because I know it all. I know all the sides. My parents and my parents were loving in their own way. My mother showed me some fantastic things. Oh my gosh. And she showed me some other things too. But I chose, regardless of whatever my mother and my father showed me, I chose to do what felt good to me. My own individual thoughts. It is so hard out here. My own individual thoughts. So our children have their own individual ways of thinking. Love them. Do the best that you possibly can. That way, in my, you have no regrets, because that wasn't my choice. Ain't too many parents is gonna move their children out of the country like I did, just to give him more food, cleaner foods that he was supposed to have, and a choice. But he still chose to do something else. But that was his choice. It wasn't mine. So love them the best way you possibly can. But know who you are the best way you possibly can. Because if you can't understand you, you can never understand them. And that's totally the truth. No matter what you think you're doing, you take it one day at a time, 1 second at a time. I could be crying the next second, but that's okay, because I embrace those feelings that I have, because I have the right to have those feelings. Just like your children have the right to have the feelings that they're having. They want to break loose. Shit, we used to be kids too. I know I was something else. But I thought that I was breaking free, and I had a lot of hurt and pain that nobody understood but me. And I really couldn't understand it. So allow your kids to be who they are. Love them the best that you possibly can. But don't drive them to doing something that you don't want them to do, because your mind is so set up on whatever you may be thinking. Because your thoughts are yours and theirs are theirs. Love. And not just love. It's just as simple as that. Well, you know what, I'm not going to say that, because it's not that simple for some. Do what you can do. But it's up to you to make the choice to do what's right. And that's the simplest thing in life. It ain't about being holier than thou and all this so crazy stuff, Because I've ran up out of some churches that just ain't right. I've ran up out of some places that, who's supposed to be representing and ain't representing nothing. Not even themselves. So just, kind of allow it to flow. Do what feels good to you. Do what feels good. Allow them to do what feels good to them. Put them in different activities. Show them different things. There is nothing that Justin and I didn't do. I mean, we traveled. He sings so much. Any sport that he wanted to play, any instrument that he wanted to do, he did it. I was always at every event in the front that he was doing, that he was in. Volunteering for everything, cooking for the school, just doing what I felt that was good. And I enjoyed it. because I loved it for me. I felt it for him. But guess what? I don't have my son anymore. So what people think is the best and what I thought was the best, it was the best, all right. It was the best for me. But that wasn't the same choice that my baby had. But that choice was the best for him. Know you, love you, and be you. That way no one can ever tell you who you are. I wish you what you wish for yourself or what you so deserve. God bless. Make it a good day. Make it a good second. No matter what. Blessings.